Does the devil wear Balenciaga, or is Balenciaga trying to make it cool to be canceled? All that and more. Stay tuned. Boom. What up, y'all? Welcome back. I know we was gone for quite some time. I was going to do a show on Thanksgiving, but I got sick. I got super sick. And you can hear I'm just starting to get over it. I don't know what it was. It was crazy. It was not COVID, though, so thank you, Jesus. But yeah, you already know we got my beautiful Miss Courtney Stewart in the building. What up, Bill? Who was at Big Bear this past weekend?
It was so nice. The house was bomb, like right on the lake. It was gorgeous, but also kind of depressing.
Why?
We had to witness the effects of climate change because the lake is so shrunken and shallow right now. Like there are luckily our house was in a good spot, but there's so many houses that were technically lakefront property, I don't know, 2 years ago, and there's no lake there anymore. And it's just dried up and looks terrible, but we still got good lake views. But yeah, that part was.
Well, all right. Well, that's more eventful than mine because I wasn't doing shit. I was sick. I watched this thing called The Watcher on Netflix, which was weird.
I watched it. Oh yeah, the house or whatever. Is that the one where they buy the house?
Okay, maybe it wasn't The Watcher. It was. I don't remember what it was called. I gotta look it up. But it was about some woman. This is in the 1800s or something like that. And she's in Ireland, and she's a nurse, and she gets summoned to go do this thing called The Watch. And she has to watch this girl who has not eaten. She doesn't eat. And she's lived for however long, and she's 11 years old, and she's never eaten. And so they want to figure out how she's doing this. And it's this kind of religious but then kind of fucked up thing. I didn't know where this thing was going. I don't know why I even picked this. Honestly, sometimes I just be picking something just based off the cover. I'm just gonna put this on and go to sleep. And I did not go to sleep. I watched all of that. I was like, what the fuck?
What is happening? You got absorbed in it. So it was good.
I mean, it was interesting. Also, something that was interesting, though, was, I don't know, did you see this whole Wendy Williams? She was on that podcast, because it's been 2 weeks now since we've had a show. So a lot has happened. But did you watch that with Wendy?
The whole thing after seeing the clips on social media.
It was awkward AF.
It was awkward, but she is seemingly functioning much better. She looks healthier than she has in quite some time.
Interesting.
The mental functioning is much better, but definitely still not 100%, by any stretch of the imagination. So everybody's like, "Oh, she's back." I'm like, I wouldn't say that, but I was happy to see her. And the honesty, she should be in a wheelchair because the lymphedema got her feet messed up. She cannot walk. But she don't want to do that. And I get it. You don't want to look like, you don't have your faculties. But yeah. Then her husband going to turn around talking about he need his money.
Well.
I was like, wow. Men can be trash. Okay. I mean, I guess anybody can be trash, but that's some next level trash right there. But anywho.
Yeah, I watched it. I thought the host was weird. I'm like, who picked this girl to interview Wendy? Are you excited to interview Wendy Williams? I'd be so excited. This girl seemed like she was looking at Wendy I don't know. The whole thing was awkward. I feel low key. I don't know. It was given Alzheimer vibes. Anyone that was saying something to her, she just took the questions somewhere totally different. And it was what's her podcast going to be about if this is what the conversation? I mean, fascinating. I could just listen to Wendy talk all the time, so I'll listen to that. But that made me weird. That weirded me out where she kept taking. It was she was not hearing anything
No,
that
she
anyone was.
wasn't totally there. Like she didn't feel fully present for sure. But can I just say that this week I have missed Wendy more than I ever have because of that whole like Good Morning America scandal with the
Oh my
relationship.
gosh.
I just can't imagine hearing her on her show talking about this going down, and I'm so sad. She is culturally such a part of our like gossip needs, and I missed her a lot this week.
Well, but like, what do you think about that? I mean, that's crazy to me. And the fact that they went back on air, like the next day, it all came out on online, and they were right on this morning, like nothing happened.
And then she came on today. But regardless, like not shocking, not really, but also just enjoyably scandalous. And finding out she was married to Andrew Shue from Melrose Place back in the day, like they sold their house just before the scandal broke, so it's like, did they know it was coming? And like all of like it's interesting. It felt very like good, clean gossip, not like the dark, horrible shit that we have been like living in for so long. This was just good, clean gossip. A no good motherfucker cheating on his wife with a no good bitch cheating on her husband. Like at the workplace romance. But
like, first of all, I watched that whole thing about them being like run buddies. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they trained for the marathon together. The way the pictures, like he was snatching up her booty in a picture. I was just
like, what, are you guys on vacation together or something? Like, this was crazy. Another thing that is crazy, and honestly, I'm just gonna deem this as a rumor and that this was all made up. There's a meme going around. I'm calling it a meme. That is a quote from J-Lo giving to Time magazine or time.com saying that she is going to do a tribute to Whitney Houston next year at the Grammys, singing I Have Nothing. And I just don't believe that this is true. And I think that this was put out there by some blog, and why people are running with it. I think people are running with it because it's like the thought of that is hilarious. But like, I don't believe that this is true.
I don't believe it's true either. I think they're just shading J-Lo because she's got an album coming out. A lot of people asked why. So, like, I think somebody thought it was just funny, which I actually kind of feel bad making fun of J-Lo in the singing, but then I don't because it sucks. So it's just, but she obviously made money off of it. So who am I to judge? But, I got other issues with J-Lo this week. Like,
what?
The interview she did where she basically like said that she like didn't live for 20 years because of her crushing, like how Ben crushed her in that whatever. And I'm just like, girl, you had a whole 10-year marriage with 2 kids and multiple fiancés. Like, how you gonna say like you just spiraled out after Ben and like none of this shit made
I think just after a while, like, it's like these celebrities, it's like you're so disconnected that it's like in her mind, her thoughts, it's like the reality is J-Lo cannot make the statement, I haven't lived. Like, you've lived a whole life, children, marriages, concerts, performances, like you've traveled the world, movies, TV shows, like you've lived a life. And a life of torture, like because of Ben Affleck, like this is giving like you're trying to build a movie of your life. And just stick to acting and like what?
You're just like, also like, girl, if it is true, like you were so devastated and you really feel like the rest of your life until he came back to you was like not what it should have been or whatever. Girl, you are J-Lo. You are fine, you are fit, and you are rich. Why are you putting that narrative out? Like, you're supposed to be like, look, it broke my heart. And I had to pick up the pieces, but I moved on. I became the biggest global superstar. Like, I had a husband, Mark Anthony. We had these babies. Like, we were doing good. And now that he's back, I can live my second best life in my 50s with
right.
Amanda.
Exactly. It's like, you should be like screaming to the top. Like, there is life after, all the times you thought you were sad or whatever. Like, people can change, and he was the one for me and whatever.
I don't know about change.
Well, you know what I mean. She could write that in her story right now. In the next album when she's married to somebody else in however many years, then she'll write about that. All right, so that's all the fluff of these past 2 weeks. Let's get into some crazy stuff because you already know I've how many weeks have I been down the rabbit hole, and this week the rabbit came out. I didn't even have to go down the rabbit hole this week. I was like, oh.
He's like, oh.
He was like, hey. All right, so the first story, Courtney sent me this one. Actually, it is San Francisco. They done created RoboCops, y'all, and I don't know what they look. They look like plank.
They were kind of looking like the little machines that deliver our food now, just with like arms and stuff to do stuff. But like they were looking like those little carts that are like going down the street delivering food right now. I almost ran one of those over too today in LA. Oops.
That's true. Although, so whatever, yeah. They're not going to attach any... Don't be scared now. Even though these are lethal, don't worry. They're not going to attach missiles to them. They are going to release them in San Francisco, just to see what it's like. You know, I thought the most interesting thing was this quote from the board president. Option available. Where is it? Oh, here we go. The policy passed with the 8-3 vote on Tuesday, despite many concerns that the option could lead to further militarization of police force already too aggressive with poor and minority communities. He said, we continuously are being asked to do things in the name of increasing weaponry and opportunities for negative interaction between the police department and people of color. And this is the board president, Shaman Walton. This is just one of those things, you know, hey, people are complaining, you know, the police, and they're killing black people. So we're not going to deal with it. Now we're going to create robots, and the robots are going to deal with it, but we're not going to attach bombs to them. Like what? And I feel like they're doing this in San Francisco. They're testing it out in San Francisco. Has a huge homeless population, and I feel like they're gonna let these things roll on the street and just see. Because what's the homeless person gonna do? They ain't gonna sue them.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's scary. It's weird to me. You know, I'm sure it's not even as deep as whatever I'm thinking, but like, it could get that deep.
I don't know. I mean, it could. I mean, in the end, it's still machinery that's on some level operated by flawed humans. So,
well, I'm like, are they gonna like put pepper spray on these things, and they're gonna start coming out like doing the most,
spraying people that don't deserve to get sprayed? Who knows? I don't know. I think it's weird. I don't like. I mean, what? But maybe not. Maybe this is the best solution, and to get the cops that would be like, you know, shooting people that are running away from them to not shoot them because they're now a robot that is like, oh, okay, you're running away, and I can process that. I don't have the emotions attached to it. So maybe.
But it's just like my thing to racist is like, you hate black people that much that you would rather something that's really not even human like be associated with what? Like, it's just like the thought on that, like, it's just like, at what point do you just say, okay, you know what, like, I was tripping. Like, I'm crazy. Like, cause what?
I think to that point, maybe it's just easier for people to not try to solve themselves and be better people.
Oh.
And, you know, find a machine to fix the problem.
Yep. Another problem that is running amok down in conspiracy land is, so there are 3 crypto billionaires who have recently passed in like the past month, and people are just kind of thinking it's weird because one of them tweeted out that he was scared for his life, that the CIA was searching for him and was going to kill him, and then a few hours later he died in Puerto Rico in the ocean, fully clothed, with his wallet and like stuff in his pockets, and then 2 other ones throughout the following weeks. And so people are just like wondering what's going on with this crypto stuff, and you know, why are these people, are they being targeted? Is it really just a coincidence? Like, hey, all these coincidences are going on. Like, there's just a lot of coincidences in the world, you know? Like, the fact that this is going on at the same time that all of a sudden there's, like, Buddhist monks getting caught doing meth. Like, in, like, what is happening? What is going on? Like...
I mean, you know what I say? Some people say there's
it's
no
like a
such
psychedelic, like...
coincidences.
You said what?
Some people say there's no such thing as coincidences. So maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just further markers of the float of the world or the descent of the world into nothingness. Because this shit is crazy. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like,
it doesn't. And, like, honestly, you guys, like, look, I really, like, I mean, you know, when we did AfterBuzz, like, I really always used to keep it light. Like, I never, like, wanted to talk about politics, nothing like that. And, like, as I've gotten older and, like, just kind of cut myself off from, like, everyone was doing their, like, Spotify playlist and Apple playlist. And, like, I did my replay thing, and I'm like, I did not listen to that much music this year. Like, it tells you how many hours. And I'm looking at everyone else, like, they're listening to, like, thousands of hours, streaming Beyonce for, like, 6,000 hours. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm, like, 93 hours, like, in a year. Like,
I'm like, I don't think I even got the notification because I don't do it.
You didn't even hit that amount.
I don't think I... Oh, wait,
I mean, I also do records. Like, honestly, I listen to my record player a lot, but... I don't know, you know, but I really, like, as I've disconnected from, like, because at one point reality TV, like, it was just a lot, like, to the point where I feel like I got sucked as much as I was, like, watching Love and Hip Hop. It's like I got sucked into the world of Love and Hip Hop. Wow. Literally 2017. And, you know, and we think, like, certain things, it's like, oh, it's not that serious. It's, oh, you know, it's not that bad, to the point where it's like after a while we become so numb to things like that, then all of a sudden there's like people like starting like a Satan club in an elementary school, like, and this is a real story. Like, there is a literal Satan club that in California they got it approved. Now, it has nothing to do with the school. The school is not putting this on, but because the school allows other religious groups to hold meetings there, they have to allow this new religion, Satanism, to have a spot, which is like, wow, here we are, guys. We're here. We've arrived. And this is all in the same week as the whole Balenciaga thing. Obviously, you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're going to talk about it, but, like, I'm not pointing like, I'm sure you've seen all the TikToks. But if you haven't, basically, I mean, Balenciaga put these ads out with this plush teddy bear, which I'm just like, why is no one talking about this teddy bear? Because realistically, you know, when we talk about housewives, I always like to, like, get to what was the root problem. What was the thing that caused this whole, you know, thing, which we're going to get later into housewives. But with this Balenciaga thing, it's like no one wanted, like, why are we not, you know, Balenciaga's suing the photographer. It's like, but you made this bear. Like, forget the kids. Let's not even, like, get to the kids yet. Let's just talk about this bear in, like, dominatrix outfits. Like, I'm watching American Horror Story right now. I'm also a gay man, so I've been to some of those kind of clubs. Like, I've seen that kind of stuff. Like, that's just BDSM. So you fetishize a child's toy before we get to any of the actual pictures. You know, and then when you do the research behind this stuff, why is there so much demonic stuff in Hollywood? Like, it's just weird. It's just really weird. Like, and you get to the point of being like why, like, low key, like, look, Beyonce was my number one streaming artist. Love her. But, like, girl, why do you wear that fucking goat all the time? Like, why do you, like, you know, why does every celebrity do the eye thing? Why do you do this thing? Like, how many times in your life are you really like, what's up, Courtney? Like, with the triangle. Like, how many times in your life are you like, hey, this would be a really creative picture if I took it like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like there's certain things as like, okay, I understand a coincidence, but when it's like, is this like just a gag? Like when you're in the industry, like you got to do these things. It's just funny. Like everyone just thinks you're a part of a cult. Like, is that what this is?
I cannot say yay or nay on that is what it is. I don't know. Like most of it was just like, for me, because, and maybe like, again, maybe I'm just not giving enough credence to the darkness of man. Man being in general, man, woman, but, or everything else, because I ain't trying to disclude nobody because all the evils be all over everybody sometimes. But what I'm saying is like, I don't, because part of me like removes myself from that. And I don't think it's harmless. But what I do think is that I think people are always trying so hard to be artistic and interesting and like, I'm going to do the next amazing thing and like just the next thing to like cause controversy or cause issues or make people want to talk about me. And I feel like that need to like be this attention grabbing centerpiece is where a lot of this comes from, because like I'm marinating on the Balenciaga thing. Like, how does this make any sense at all from a business standpoint, from a semi-logical adult human standpoint, from a like just a creative artist standpoint? Like, because I'm sure if we sat down with the artists that came up with the production design and the concept and all of that, on some level they would come with some kind of bullshit about how this is like deep and meaningful, and like they think they're doing something like out of the box and amazing, but somehow the judgment of what is problematic in it just escapes them entirely. Like, I don't.
But also my thing is like with something like this, obviously it's become a huge thing. So there are people who are very concerned about this, right? Why do we never, like, right now we got Kanye, we're just like frying him, you know what I mean? Like, and obviously then tonight he said even crazier stuff, but like, which actually makes me think he's a part of all of this. Like, it's all just, to me personally, just a big distraction.
It feels like a freak show that is constantly like having a next act to keep us thinking about it. And that's why I just be like, I don't care, because even though, look, I'm not condoning Balenciaga and their like porn chapters paperwork or whatever that was on the table and like all of that, but all I could think is there are actually children being sex trafficked right now that we're doing nothing about. There are girls that have been sex trafficked that murdered their Johns and are in jail that we seem to think that's okay. Like, there's so much actual harm coming to children. And don't get me wrong, if the parent of that child should be questioned, like, girl, what were you thinking? And why did you think that was okay? But for the most that we know, that actual child wasn't in any real danger. We're making a whole lot of fuss. Like, people that are in Beverly Hills right now in front of the Balenciaga store protesting Balenciaga. Like, people are throwing out their clothes forever.
But I think people are protesting it because I think that, you know what I mean? Like, I understand conspiracy theories can get really out there. But like, I mean, I just remember like in high school, like 2004, like, I just remember like being with my homegirl. Maybe it was not 2000. Maybe it was out of high school. Maybe it was later than that. But whatever. I just remember with my homegirl, we like were on the internet and we would look up that Illuminati, like, you know what I mean, like, and just reading certain things about it. But then it's like, I think people are really worried. I think people are very concerned. Like, it is weird. Like, when you see, I don't know what the woman's name is, but she's like a known spirit cooker. Like, she cooks blood and like drinks it. Like, why is Jay-Z and Beyonce hanging out with somebody like that? And whatever, they could just, she might just be maybe a nice person, and that's just personally what she does. Like, she's just like, I love Satan, like, but like, I'm really a nice person, you know? And like, maybe, but like, it's just like, there's so much like all tied into it. And like, when you really look down, like when you really go back into Balenciaga and like what, if you break that word down into Latin, like the things it means, and like people are TikTok really pulled this one out. I mean, like, the connections to like this god ball, and it's literally in the ad, and like it's just weird, and it could be artistic, and that maybe they're psychotic, like, and that's really where we are. Like we really are just at the point where like the next thing is going to be suicide. Like, yes, kill yourself. Like there's literally a movie that's coming out that is glamorizing, like the trailer is like, in my last days I feel bubbles, I taste rainbows, knowing that my end, like, and she's gonna kill herself. It's like a program that you can do, and it like kills you in a peaceful way, like if you just don't want to live life anymore. So is that the next thing? Like, is like suicide the next thing? Like, where do we stop? Where do we like, okay guys, let's calm the fuck down, like this can't be the mainstream thing, you know what I mean? Like if you got whatever you guys are doing behind closed doors, do it behind closed doors. But like,
I mean, maybe, but I also feel like we are only sort of feeding into the circus with the amount of attention and energy we put into it. Don't get me wrong, Balenciaga is easy to shut down. Everybody can just stop buying it, and we never have to talk about it again, and it won't be a thing. Like, and I just,
but honestly, I feel like this is the marketing of 2022. It's like, how outrageous can you be? Like, I genuinely feel like Balenciaga low-key did this purposely.
100%.
For a trend. Like, they think it's kind of cool. Like, yeah, we're fucking being canceled. Like, I really think it's like that kind of a...
I wouldn't be surprised at all, which is why I'm a little bit annoyed that it's so much of a conversation. Like I said, child pornography and issues around child trafficking and sex trafficking are huge issues. And I've not seen the amount of energy towards that I see towards Balenciaga. So like, channel that to something that actually can be affected and protect some kids.
Well, no, but I genuinely, here's my thing though. I agree 1,000,000% with what you're saying. And we got Ryan saying, it's all insane, I can't get over it. Yep. And Silver Guardian talking about agreed. And I agree too. I feel like, though, this is going to be the start of like, honestly, TikTok is really incredible. Like the type of people on there, like the type of research that these people do, I do believe that this is going to start unlocking.
I don't think so.
Really? I don't know. I kind of do. I feel like people are really starting to open up.
I think it is sensationalism. I think the idea that TikTok can reveal these things is still feeding the machine of sensationalism. People are excited to reveal these things and share these things because they're getting clicks. I don't think it's actually actively shifting people into action places that matter. I think it is a community that's not a real community because it's a social media community that on some level acts and sort of puts things into action, like canceling Kanye West and getting all his money because you stopped buying stuff, and the audiences, the ad dollars don't make sense anymore. So in that regard, I guess it's being effective to a degree. But part of that, I think, comes from, I don't think that there's anything we can do about darkness other than to be light. So just like breaking down Balenciaga being dark, like I ain't never been confused that Balenciaga was dark. Kim Kardashian walked a red carpet with a whole damn panty on her head and like completely covered. And like what the fuck is that? Like a face mask? Like what is that supposed to be? Like other than that ain't light is all I can say. Right. So there's never a point where I would think that to begin with. So I just think that the dark is going to exist along with the light, and all we can be is the light. And I think it's remiss to just be like, oh, suddenly because we're breaking it down for people, they're going to get it. It's kind of like, I hate to say this. I don't want to say this because I want to believe the best of people, but I don't. It's sort of like the 2020 movement after George Floyd, right? Like for a minute you thought it was about to really be something and people actually cared and it was actually going to matter. But somehow it doesn't feel like that energy really exists. And some small changes maybe happen, but like the amount of shift that felt like was possible in that moment to me no longer exists. And we're back to like a half a step forward and then a couple of steps back and then another half a step forward. And I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot of hoopla and a lot of noise for something that's not really going to do anything different.
So is this like, I mean, I agree. I mean, to a point, I do agree because it's like in the fact Netflix and Hulu they put the Ghislaine Maxwell documentary out. It's like,
Hold on one second. I just have to say the fact that nobody says this woman's name right
because I
trips me
don't
out.
care, and I hope for the rest of her life I hope it pisses her off.
I hope it pisses her off because there are so many versions. Every reporter, every
Ghislaine,
Ghislaine, Ghislaine, whatever the hell her name.
Whatever the hell her fucking name is. Like, again, this is all I'm saying. And honestly, I know it started before this, but I would say for me personally, I watch dark shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love horror movies. Like, I would honestly say, literally, I would watch it every night before I go to bed. And like, I would put on a horror movie like a psychopath. But something happened around the time the Anna Delvey thing, when that came out, and it was like the Tinder swindler thing. Like, I don't know, there was something about, and I don't know if it was something in the air, or if it was just something within me personally, that just started looking at content differently. And it was just like, why? Like, even like today, I look in my nephew's bag, right? He went to the library. He brings books back. And my sister-in-law, she was like, oh, the library now has this thing where the kids like, they have books that are catered to what the kid likes or whatever like that. And so I don't know, he took a test or whatever, so they give him these books. One of the books today, and like, I didn't want to like parent her kid or anything, so I just kind of was like, oh, you don't think that's kind of crazy? And then just to put something in her ear. But like, the book was about, I guess it's like supposed to inspire a kid to be a cop, but like, the book is about criminals. And like, the way the book was, it glorified it would make me, if I was a kid, I'd be like, fuck, I want to be this. I want to be all of these guys. They got all this money. It tells how they did it. It was just the glorification of it. And I'm just like, I don't know. And then I started noticing it with like movies and TV and like, talk shows and blogs. And it's just like, we're in our villain era. And now it's to the point where we're like, have Satan after school programs. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's like really unsettling. And it's been unsettling, honestly, personally, for me since the Anna Delvey thing. Like, I feel like I haven't been able to really consume content for some time. And it started around then. And I don't know what that is, what that means, or why, but that's my testimony.
Like, that's what I'm dealing with in this moment. I mean, in the end, I just think that like yin and yang, dark and light, like, will always exist. These ideas aren't new. The exploitation of children for fashion is not new. Literally, we just made it. Some fashion houses just made it a thing in the last 5 years to not hire underage models. Like, it was normal to have 13-year-old, 14-year-old girls, 15-year-old girls walking runways, being in sexualized editorial layouts, and call it art. So I think the boundaries are all blurry and murky, and I think that we just are much more exposed to it now as a society, just because we're much more connected in terms of the interwebs and the social media and all of that. So I don't feel like it's new. I just feel like, in the end, we can only be our world is only going to be as good as we individually are. So yes, call out Balenciaga, don't buy Balenciaga, like, they're whack, but also recognize that all of this, like, protest Balenciaga out on the streets, girl, you could take that energy and
exactly
free a girl from sex trafficking or something. Like, there's a lot more that energy could be utilized for, in my opinion. But do you, boo, because it's America and you can do whatever you want.
Right. Like, my other thing is, everyone's burning all their clothing. I'm like, it's like, no, go give it to a homeless person. You know what I mean? Like, there we go. Right. Balenciaga wants their models looking homeless. Well, here you go. Let's turn Balenciaga into a charity. Let's do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of opinions, JuliaFox, let's watch this little segue.
Oh, no,
JuliaFox, I thought it was interesting though, because she at first said like, the Balenciaga thing was crazy, and then she tried turning this into like, you guys are mad at Balenciaga, it's not about Balenciaga, it's about men. And I don't know, I see it with her and like certain influencers, and honestly I love Z-Way, but like low key she does it too, of this like weird male bashing. And it's like, I can understand openly wanting to speak about men. Men speak about women all the time, you know what I mean? But it's like, well, you're just literally giving the equivalent of what you would say an Andrew Tate is. And I feel like JuliaFox does that a lot in her commentary. But she brought up Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and she thinks it's interesting that, as she said, it's sexist of people that we aren't seeing people hold Coach Shaw to the fire the way that people are holding Erica from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to the fire. Because Coach Shaw wasn't involved with it, but he was married. He reaped the benefits just as Erica did. So why is no one making it a big deal, about him? That's sexism.
It is. I asked that same question 2 weeks ago.
I mean, I don't know.
Every show.
I feel like you can say it, but I feel like the difference is Erica is a main character and she is outwardly speaking about it. Coach Shaw isn't like we're talking about Jen because she's like acting like a crazy person on camera. If Coach Shaw was on camera and like an active person, we would talk about him, but he's not.
Well, I don't think it's that. I think part of it is that, well, first of all, I think on the top of it, Erica has become unlikable in her situation. So it's easier to be like, girl, you are evil, because she done said some real sideways-ish about people that were harmed by the actions of her husband. So I feel like that alone puts her in a separate category, because Coach Shaw has not done that. But I definitely think that there is a unique thing in our culture. I will just speak as American culture because I don't live and exist in the culture of anywhere else. We demonize women for shit that ain't their fault on a regular basis. Jadapinkettsmith is the same way. Like, they demonized her and blamed her for all of Will's actions. Mm-hmm. And whether or not you believe whatever, but they definitely were like, it's her fault. Will's a good guy. This even going back to their cheating, quote unquote, allegations, when they very clearly stated, we were not in a relationship. We were just going to live in a house together. And I told him to do his thing. He definitely did his thing. He admitted that he had other women and she was messing around with Augustalsina. But everybody still, the community decided that Jada was trash and a horrible person.
Mm-hmm. So when in reality, they all might have been messing with August. All might have been messing with Augustalsina after we learned about his brother.
Oh, exactly. It might have been a whole party, but the only one that is getting really demonized for it is mostly Jada. But in the end, whatever. Coach Shaw, we ain't talking about, are we talking about Housewives yet? Because Coach Shaw, I believe it's his fault too, and he should be held to account as well publicly. I don't think he should go to jail because I don't think he was doing anything, but he definitely, he knew his wife was on some shady-ish. I'm sorry.
1,000,000%. I mean, let's just get into Salt Lake right now because 1,000,000% he knew. I mean, here's my thing with all of these. This, especially Salt Lake. The theme of this episode is stop saying that you've been friends with somebody for a super long time and then be surprised by their actions. Like, I know my friends, I know my family, and their actions, I know who they are. I know how to act around them. I know how they act around me. So all of this stuff is crazy. It is insane because someone like Coach Shaw, I think, has Jen so... Although we might think Jen has Coach Shaw controlled, I believe Coach Shaw has Jen controlled, where she thinks she probably runs stuff. But he knows everything. I agree that he probably knows more than what Erica actually knew. Boop.
Yeah, I agree. I think he knew more than Erica would know. I think Erica just enjoyed getting the black card and doing whatever the fuck she wanted to do.
And however it came.
however game it came, as long as the limit was unlimited, she was good to go. Coach Shaw, I don't see that being the case. But can we roll back a little bit? Who the hell are these random hoes they keep trying to make happen on Salt Lake City? What is her name? I can't even remember. Anna Banana. What was her name?
Dana
It's
Banana.
Dana Banana.
Dana Banana and Angie.
Well,
Two.
Two Angies.
Well, right. I call her Angie too.
Angie too. Why?
No, first of all, that, and then Jacqueline over on Potomac. Like, they are really for it. These are the worst friends of the show. And
like,
honestly, we're not at Potomac, but like, these are the worst. What is happening?
It is literally, please stop trying to make fetch happen situation. Like, I needed to stop. I don't like any of them. They don't even fit. It feels weird. It doesn't make any sense. It was awkward. I don't know where they came from. I don't like them. I don't want them. I get it. I guess they're trying to figure out who will fill the spot when Jen goes to jail, but it's not working for me.
No, and I feel like they really want to give it to Angie, or I feel like Angie thinks it's really going to go to her, which we'll get into a second. But before we do, back to that Coach Shaw thing, when Jen was talking about her relationship with Allah during Ramadan, I'm like, did Coach tell you to like go on camera and say this, and like were there cue cards talking about this? Because that's what it was giving me. So 18 minutes into the episode, we're just getting to the airport for this trip. I mean, the fact that we wasted 18 minutes
watch them pack, and like,
I didn't need to see every single girl pack. Like, I get it. Like, see, the thing is, Atlanta Housewives, that works. It was entertaining. Yeah. Candy would do something funny with Todd in the closet. Nene's like going crazy trying to pick something. It works. It don't work for this show. This is not that kind of show. 18 minutes.
Like, does this give San Diego like summer? I was like, please stop talking. Please. I
was just over. I couldn't win with none of it. So 18 minutes. We get to the airport and Dana turns her back to Jen. I'm just like, girl, you sitting here policing people's attitudes. Like, here's my thing with Dana Banana. Girl, you out here policing Jen's attitude, which warranted. Jen's crazy. So, all right, I'm not mad at nobody that, look, if that's what you want to say, look, you're going to have to deal with whatever happens. But you choosing to say that? All right. I do not condone violence, but if you feel like speaking up, speak up. But then don't be sitting here acting real scared. You saying hi to everybody and not Jen. Like, if you want this to be peaceful, why would you not use this moment to kind of be like, hey, let me just, break the ice a little bit. How are you? Like, you don't have to give her a hug. Just be like a nod. Something.
Just be like, hey, girl, and go ahead back to your business.
First of all, wait, I don't even know. Not you get, please, you guys. What? Not you gonna have me going on the shade room. Ryan Gray said, why did the shade room just post Kanye just tweeted backing up Balenciaga and condemning pornography?
Y'all, leave Kanye West alone. That man is out of his mind. He needs to go in a cave somewhere and figure out what is happening with the sensories and the whatever the things that are in your brain that fire towards each other to make shit work, because the shit is confused. And the fact that we keep elevating and touting all of the things that he is saying is just exploitative, and it's disgusting. Leave the man alone. I know he don't want us to leave him alone, but like, stop inviting him on shit. Stop reposting his shit. Like, let him go shrivel up in a cave somewhere and take them boots off and air his feet out, because I know his toes are sweaty.
Yeah, and I just read what he wrote, and he's crazy. That sounds insane. And honestly, you're a part of the whole situation. There was a little piece of me. There was a little piece of me. And that's why I said we were just going to follow it. I always said he was crazy, but I said we're going to follow it.
He's unwell. He's not well.
Because he has given little crumbs, but bro, you playing on the same team. It's all an act. Ronnie, what up, Ronnie? Ronnie said, I tried to watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City this week and I actually fell asleep. This franchise is missing so much. While I love Lisa and Meredith, this franchise is getting really boring.
I
Yes,
fully agree with you.
but I mean, I'm kind of interested. I feel like we're in a place right now with the show because I feel like these were genuine relationships, and like I feel like all the girls are in a shifting point friendship wise. So once it settles, the teams, like how we used to have teams with Atlanta, I feel like we might get that with this show. I don't know if I can do Dana and Angie, maybe one of them and then another new girl, but definitely can't do both of them. Um, Meredith is somehow in charge of the fun police. I'm like, girl, she can't even smile, so how's she in charge of the fun police?
Hey, why did she become the fun lady? Because she's never been the fun lady.
I'm just like, I don't know, because she got naked in the tub before everyone came at the last trip. Like, I don't know.
But to Meredith's, I guess, credit, she and her husband are super lusty for each other right now. So the trials and tribulations that they went through, I don't know if it's fake, but it feels pretty authentically gross. So I support them, and I'm happy that their marriage is on the up and up right now.
I never really doubted their marriage. Low key, I feel like they've always had that.
They admitted they struggled.
I always had that. I feel like they always had that like click. And honestly, low key, I just watched that Hulu documentary about the pool boy who slept with the evangelical priest's wife. Do you know that story?
What do you be watching?
Girl, what do I be everything? And we got to talk about have you watched Wednesday?
I started it and I was bored. We tried to watch it at Thanksgiving in Big Bear, and I was just like, this is boring. I need to watch it when I maybe can pay attention a little bit better and I'm a little less inebriated.
Look, it was a good script, but it just shouldn't have been the Addams Family. It should have been its own thing. Anyways, back to this. Okay. All right. What did you think about? So we get to the house, and this is Jen's trip. But it was interesting because Angie low-key was kind of taking over. And here's my thing. Angie and Mia give me the same vibes. I feel like
they're not even thirsty. They are the desert. They are in drought. They have not had a sip of water in like 25 years. They are praying for the Lord, praying to the Lord for rain. Because it's just like, you doing way too much, sis. Shut up. Sit down. We don't even like you. We don't even know who you are yet. Like, and you are already purposely trying to put yourself as a problem for the other crazy lady. And I just don't understand. It's so inauthentic to me, I guess, is where I'm upset.
Beyond. Now, you know your friend, this trip is for Jen, right? This trip, because the ski trip or whatever the last trip was didn't work out. So this trip was for Jen. You know how Jen is. Why would you not just give her the room? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know why, because you want to be on the show, but I don't think it came from a place of you being like, no, Jen will be totally fine with me sharing a room with her. Like, we've been friends for like 20 years. Like, she's gonna be totally cool with that. She's gonna go to jail for like however many years, but like, we're just gonna sleep in the same. Look how big the bed is. Like, Jen would love it. That's not your friend. I don't even know her, and I would assume that she wouldn't want that. I mean, at the end of the day, what grown person wants to sleep in a bed with another grown person when you're on vacation? You want your own bed. You want your own space. You want your own thing. This is for her, right? This is weekends for her. So whatever, Jen got upset about it. Very childish. Jen is childish. We know Jen is childish. This is just who Jen is. And so Jen poured a drink on her, which I was low-key shocked because I was just like, and then Jen really tried to play it off like, I was just kidding. Like, girl, you was not kidding. You was mad.
You were mad. You were mad, girl. You were mad.
You were so mad.
Well, also, just for the record, no shade. The outdoor area of the house was like super nice, but I kind of felt like the indoor was very IKEA and not super fabulous. And the only fabulous room was obviously the main room that What's Her Face took. And I was just like, this is the best we could do, because San Diego got some palatial estates.
I stayed in the real cute places in San Diego, but look, between this one and Potomac, I'm saving my ripping for Potomac.
We'll rip Potomac, yes, but nonetheless, I was just what's her name? Anna? No, not her. Angie. So I can't even keep them straight because I just don't care. But she's trying for screen time hard, and I don't like it at all.
Yeah, and so whatever. Now you're mad. Your friend did this. You're mad, and now you drop all this tea talking about I actually paid for Coach Shaw's birthday. It was at my house, and now I'm gonna send her the bill. Judge Judy would eat you up, girl. Judge Judy would be like, please, please, please. Is there a contract? That was a gift. It was a gift, girl. What? You're a psychopath. You're a psychopath, and you just wanted something to throw. You're actually the evil one. You're actually evil, low key, because what? Like, first of all, it is Tuesday, and you are screaming Sunday, girl. What? Yes. Like, now all of a sudden you were cool with 15,000, but because I spilled a drink on you, you're just gonna now all of a sudden like everything like it. That's weird, girl, and that means you've been holding this in your head, and that's just weird. It's just weird.
And it's too, look, everybody and their friends do money different. You know what I'm saying? So maybe there was like an unsaid, like, I have a friend, my friend that I went to Big Bear with. Like, we know if I took care of the food, like, we'll knock that off of something else and whatever. And it's a give and take and it's fine. So maybe that's what Angie thought was happening and didn't need to express it. And then obviously they get to this place and they think she's throwing drinks on her and all that. So she's upset. And she's like, well, you never paid me. And like, it's just because it's never been a conversation. But it was just shitty because we all know all of her accounts are probably frozen. So when you offered to do the party to begin with, you didn't think like, this bitch might not have no money?
No, I guarantee you that bitch is, I'm sorry, excuse me. That girl, Angie, is so thirsty. She's so thirsty that I guarantee you she was like, no, Jen, I got it. No, it's not even that big a deal. It's not, I know someone, like, it's not even that big a deal because you were so thirsty that you wanted Bravo cameras at your house. Wow. So you could be on TV, and that's okay. That's okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. You just want to be on TV, girl. It's okay. Just say you want to be on TV.
And I'm not trying to, like, by no means am I defending Jen because I think Jen is trash.
1,000,000%.
But there, I mean, obviously because we even see Heather talk about how she was there for the walkthrough and she was like talking like, yeah, I haven't had a housewarming party. So it seemed like she was using this as an excuse to have a housewarming party, but then saying it's Coach Shaw's party. So it's not far-fetched to think that she was like flipping most of the bill for it. Like if there was no other agreement outside of that.
Right. Another thing we saw Dana talking about telling Heather to go, talk to Jen, go get your friend in check. Like, she's everyone's friend here. Like, I'm not going to go tell her she was wrong. Like, both of these girls were wrong in this situation, low key. So, sorry, it's not my business. And low key, this whole season, like, I'm not caring about any of y'all's drama.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with the bullshit. I'm still Team Heather so far. Like, I'm still fine with Heather not wanting to deal with their nonsense.
Yep. So we get in the car ride, and that was where Angie told Jen to stop making everyone uncomfortable and that she wants an apology. And you just see the resentment that she has with this party that she threw. And it's like, girl, I have no sympathy for you. No. I really tried to rile some up, but it's just not there. Heather says she was there when you opened up your house up. Yeah, she just wanted to be on TV. She said Jen can't keep a friendship with anybody. So my thing is you're calling this girl your friend of 20 years, and then you just threw in her face that she can't keep a friend with anybody. But you then just said that you were friends for 20 years.
The math ain't my thing because you've been friends for 20 years. Shut up. Angie, Dana, which one is it, Angie? Go home.
Yeah, honestly, like I thought I didn't like Dana, but Angie's really good.
Angie's worse. Oh, 100%. She's worse. And again, I don't be trying to talk about nobody's looks, but if you're going to give me like gross and I can't stand you, like give me looks. Give me some fabric. Give me some good hair. Give me something. And she's giving me nothing. Nothing.
Nada. All right, let's get into Potomac.
That's a mess.
Yeah, so next week, whatever, Salt Lake will get on the yacht, and then I feel like we'll get a really good episode next week. But this really is all about Potomac because...
Can I put a disclaimer before this whole conversation?
Yep.
This season of Potomac is full of entirely unlikable, not great behaviors from all of these women.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an issue with all of these women, even in the course of conversations where we end up sort of semi-siding with one over the other or whatever. I just want to make it real clear. I am bothered, like to the point you were talking about earlier that like, oh, you know, I outgrew Love and Hip Hop and like decided I just can't because I'm like in that space. I literally felt like while watching Potomac this week that maybe it's time for me to give up on Housewives because I don't think I can deal with this shit no more.
I mean, that's a statement. But honestly, it's really starting to become too much. Like, this is what I'm saying, you guys. Like, it's different. Like, again, real world. Take 7 strangers, put them in a house. Like, let's just see what happens.
See what happens.
Most of it's going to be boring, but there'll be some good stuff. You know, we've gotten away from that. Everything has to just, like, let's just get to the good stuff, the juice. And most of the time, the juice is toxic. If all you're taking in is the juice with no context, it's toxic. And these shows like are now breeding people to act like full on psychopaths. Like early stages, Kim and Nene, that kind of stuff. Like that was so new to reality TV that it was entertaining because it was real to see two women, you know, competing with each other or a friendship really turning sour. Like, you know, but this, it's so contrived on so many levels. And I mean, let's just get into it. I mean, honestly, you guys, I really was going to do an episode of just Potomac on Sunday, but I was just too sick to do it. I was like, no, let me just wait because I need to talk to Courtney about this because...
awful.
Y'all. All right, so I'm just going to say this. This whole debacle, we're going to go through everybody, obviously, but I'm sorry, Mia. This all falls on you. And here's what I'm going to say. I believe Mia never should have been a housewife. I believe Mia is the prime example of the perfect friend of the show. Just like Marlo was an amazing friend and she worked her way to eventually becoming a housewife. That's where I feel like Mia should have been with this show. Because as we look at Salt Lake, those 3 girls, because both Angie's and Dana are not friend quality. It's not good storyline. It's like doing the most. It's embarrassing for humanity. Like those are not the type of like housewife friends we want. Mia, embarrassing for humanity as well, but it's different, right? Like she really hit a point, and this would have been the point where we would have said, okay, yeah, she's definitely never getting a peach or whatever the fuck they hold in Potomac, a stick or whatever.
Cherry blossoms. Is that what they hold? I don't know what they hold.
Maybe that was like a stick or something. I don't know. And I feel like this moment, the violence, because I mean, even in Bad Girls Club, girl, like at this point, you've thrown 3 things: lettuce, I don't know what one of the things was, and then liquid, and you're violent. You're violent. This isn't Love and Hip Hop. Peace out, A-Town down. It's been great, but unfortunately, we're done with you.
You cannot use your words at all.
Now, I'm interested to know where the setup with Peter came, because I thought an interesting scene, not in this past episode, but the last episode before this last one, where it was Giselle, Mia, and Ashley, and they were talking about Wendy and Peter beef. And this is when they're at the hotel in Miami. Now, my thing with Mia also not being a housewife, actually, before I get into that, you are always clocking everybody like, she said this was a party. This is where she had the dinner. This is where... What kind of fucking house is this, girl? What house is this? I mean, like, one person doesn't even have a bathroom? What?
No, wouldn't it like, two of them don't actually have bathrooms? Yeah. And then two grown women are supposed to share a queen size bed. Like, no.
With then they can hear everyone flushing the toilet, like disgusting. Like, what kind of
Not.
luxury? What kind of luxury? Hey, babe, we aren't even in Miami. We're literally looking at Miami. We're literally not in Miami because we're looking at it.
We're looking at the bay. So the house was a joke. Well, it wasn't a joke. Let me get that straight. It was a very nice house. They had chefs and food. The food looked delicious. And it's a great view across the bay. And it's just not, on the beach. And it's also not able to accommodate the amount of people that you had.
Yes,
so
if it was like 4 girls, this would have been the perfect house.
Exactly. So it just wasn't the best house, but because I don't want to trash the house, like it's clearly like
no. And let me just say, I'm trashing it because Mia has consistently shitted on everybody's, like when someone else was hosting something, she had something to say about everybody's thing, which I stayed quiet this whole time because I was like, let's see what she's going to do. I wanted to see because maybe she was going to be that bitch. Maybe she's going to be like Portia or who, I don't remember who, but they put like everyone, like a unique gift in everybody's room. Maybe it was going to be like that. Maybe, but it wasn't at all. This was like the trip from hell. Mia.
Not great.
This was, first of all, Jacqueline, get this girl off the show. This is like, I'm just like worried for her. Is she okay? Because why are you friends with Mia? She's mean to you. She's been mean to you in both these episodes. Like,
they used to hold together. Like, isn't that what the deal was?
I don't know what they are, because they're like start a sentence and then they're like, no, but no. And you're like, what? Like, are you guys doing drugs on the show right now? Like, what is happening?
Well, we saw Mia didn't have no teeth, so maybe.
Looking like Littlefoot. Looking like Littlefoot from The Land Before Time. That is who Mia looks like.
But like, do you think she just like snapped him out? Cause like, oh, we're at home, I'm stressed out, I take my teeth out like grandma did. Like, what happened? Cause nobody knocked her in the mouth.
Girl.
We're just like, figure it out.
I don't know what she did.
And I just want to say this, because again, we're not in the business of like crapping on women's looks. I just want to tell Mia, I don't know where you are, girl, but you don't need whatever it is you keep putting in your face. Just stop. You're a beautiful lady, like exist in your beauty. Because I don't know what was happening on that Miami trip. Like if she had just gotten some fresh fillers or what was going on. And she just looked very not normal.
Yeah, her face looked bloated and moist.
Very bloated and strange. Like I didn't know what was happening. So girl, stop. You don't need it. It's not worth it.
You don't want to look like Madonna. All right.
Let it go.
All right. Let's see. So within that, all right. So we're at the house, right? So this is what really, I feel like, am questioning if it was Giselle that put this into motion or if it was Mia. Here's why. Obviously, Mia initiated it by calling Peter and just asking the question. Now, I believe Mia, desperate to be on the show, looks up to Giselle, and like if she can like kind of be like make Giselle happy, she's gonna go in that direction. That's how I feel. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just how I feel. And I feel like in the moment where it was Giselle, Ashley, and Mia, Ashley was like, hey, but yeah, what's going on with like Wendy and Peter? And Giselle said, yeah, I don't know. Peter told me that Wendy Googled things about him so that she could like say something relatable to him, which I'm like, how would he know that? Like, did she tell him that? Like, that's weird. Like that she would like tell someone like, hey, I Googled you to see like that you liked this. Maybe Wendy's a weirdo, so maybe she did. But
Wendy's also a good student, so that's not super far-fetched to me.
Fair enough.
It's like researching the person you want to get into business with, and I could totally see her being like, I looked you up. I know you love a good this, that, and the other, and I just want you to know, like, I can do this and that, and this will be great for you because of this, that, and other. Like, she's a researcher. I could see her doing that.
Okay, and then I feel like Giselle kind of thrusted that story in there to kind of
she put a spin on it
add
to make it
on to Mia's like, oh yeah, girl, like, oh really? Well, I'm gonna find out more then. Like kind of that. Like Giselle
100%.
knows how to play. She pulled a Kyle, an infamous Kyle. This was a real Kyle move right here, because it wasn't really like, you know, like, dang girl, you took that and ran with it. Mia took that and ran with it. You know, it was just a slight little thing that I feel like she put down for her, and that baby picked it on up. We see Mia, Karen, and Jacqueline and Wendy. They're going to the dinner, and Charisse is in the car. Oh no, they talk about Charisse. This is where they talk about Charisse. And we see Mia feeling herself. Okay, I low-key feel like Mia was having a winter wonderland in Miami, personally. Personally, I feel like that's what we were seeing from Mia. That's allegedly. It's not even allegedly. I don't even know if that's true or not. I just like would assume these actions are caused by that, the facial expressions, you know what I mean, girl? Like that's what it's giving, like from what I've seen in the world. I do not believe that she did that. I'm just saying that's what it looked like. We are in the car and she's feeling herself, and so she's telling Karen that, you know, I understand, girl, I'm totally on your side with Charisse. Like, I see what you mean. Like, yeah, she was feeling herself, all because you're mad that Charisse was gonna go stay at a hotel. So now because you're mad that Charisse said she was gonna stay in a hotel, you're talking shit about her. Character is showing, girl.
Yes. But I'll keep going. I'll come back to that.
Well, so then we are still in the car, and there's two things going on. We go into the other car with Robin. And Robin kind of instigates with Ashley, saying that Ashley and Candace have... Oh, no, this is when they get to the restaurant. And she says that Ashley and Candace have a big issue. And Ashley says that Candace has a chip on her shoulder, and she doesn't like a mirror up to her face. And I thought this was interesting because I feel like, okay, we're sitting down at the table. Everyone's just kind of chilling. Everyone's fine. Robin was the first person to initiate. Like, it just low-key came out of nowhere. It's like, what? Like, first of all, Candace isn't even here. Like, why are you starting this right now? So I thought that was interesting. And then they get into this conversation about Candace. And how Chris was touching booties, and it was like Giselle talking about how she heard someone had said that he touched the booty, but she wasn't sure. And then it was like, then he didn't touch the booty. It was like the side. And it's just like, there's all these stories about Chris and whatever. That's going to obviously build into something. And then another conversation at the table was obviously Charisse and Karen. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this, honestly. I feel like Karen's being very non-problematic this season and trying to be kind of neutral. And I think people are holding a torch to her for whatever reason. And I think that I'm not mad at her for it. I kind of like her this season, honestly. She's not annoying me. I feel like I've liked her in every scene. Honestly, she was very relatable in these scenes. I think it's crazy that they try to make her look like the bad guy in it. And I just think it's like, why are we forcing her to be friends with Charisse? Or if you guys know what the problem is, why don't you say, hey, I think you have an issue with me because of this. But you want her to say it. And she doesn't want to say it. Because she knows if she says it, then it's a thing, and now we're on the show talking about it, which we see next week. She does not like that.
Nope. But that's what she's here for. So that's my only issue with Karen. It's like, I enjoy the like divaness of it all, like paying her dust. But at some point,
you got to pay your dues.
You know, and you are on the reality show, and everybody wants to know what the hell happened. Like, what's the problem? Are you really mad because she outed you for cheating on your husband?
Yep. But I bring all this up because really it doesn't even matter about Karen and Charisse. But this was where the match was lit. Charisse deflected the topic and kind of threw it on Wendy. And I feel like no one really saw that coming, especially Wendy. Wendy had a really quick response to it, which I think Wendy's response was valid, because it's like, girl, what? Like, why don't you just talk to her? Why are you bringing me into this? I thought that was valid. But I think that initial, like, kind of like jab out of nowhere, Wendy was already in a position of feeling uncomfortable because of the whole Peter thing, knowing that they're at this restaurant now, and it's like, I have to talk to him. Like, I hope I don't have to talk to him, but like, obviously, like, they did this on purpose. I think in her mind, she's knowing, like, this is purpose. This is happening on purpose. And so she's already on guard, and I feel like the Charisse comment was the first, like, was the actual match that lit it, that caused her to really be in this defensive mode. Did you notice that at all with her, with the shift of stuff? Like,
I honestly was, yes, but also I felt like we didn't get a lot of pieces at that table, because the flow of the conversation
totally agree. Yes,
very off and disjointed. So I don't, whatever. I'd love to see the raw footage, but you know,
honestly though, I feel like the footage was more choppy after the drink was thrown. I feel like that's where the footage really got chopped up. But we see Peter come to the table, and here's my take of what I think happened. I believe we see Peter comes to the table, and the first thing he does was, you know, he's trying to be like jokingly kind of intimidate Wendy when he comes over. And it didn't work. She already knew what she was going to say to him. And she said exactly what she was proven. Check your text. Like, I hit you up. I'm waiting on you. Yeah. Like, now my question to you, Courtney, is if you were in her situation, but your mentality, would you have texted Peter at any time when you knew you were going to bar one?
I did think about this, and I think that that's a tough call, because I don't have a true gauge on what their relationship was. So I feel like if it honestly was very, very like super new and just possibly a business situation, I might not have texted him like, hey, we're here.
Which is what I feel like it is.
That's what I feel like it is. So I don't think it's strange that she didn't hit him up, but I also don't think he honestly had a beef with her. I feel like it was, I say shit like, oh, I got beef with you. What, you forgot to call me. Like, not like heavy. Like, I didn't think it was coming heavy from him. I feel like Mia was making it a thing more than it actually was. And Peter obviously is going to take his moment to be on TV for a second, but he wasn't like fully invested in any kind of real drama, I don't think. Yeah. He was like, oh, I'm gonna play with y'all for a minute. This is my restaurant. Put it on TV for show. Free advertising. Let's roll. You know, like, I don't think it was that intense. And I think Mia made it a big thing once we get to the conversation about, I don't need to talk to no man that ain't my man. And that's the other thing too. When you married, you don't operate the same way. I'm a single woman. So if I hit Peter up, even if we weren't,
it's not a thing. Yeah.
It's not a thing. But like, yeah, you don't, as a married woman, I can imagine being like, hey, Peter, we about to be in town. We're not friends.
Right.
So if we're not friends, then it looks even worse or weird or sideways that I would be hitting you up to let you know where I'm at when I got a whole husband at home. Like, I'm not doing that. So I'm with Wendy on that 100%.
Exactly. Yeah. But so I feel like he came over, he made his comment. She said, check your text, which he probably knew. Yes. And that's why he dropped it and kept it moving, because I think he jokingly on the phone with Mia the first time made it seem, she probably was like, oh, I want to make her sweat a little bit. And he'll be like, oh, yeah, whatever. Because I feel like he didn't give Mia what she wanted. She thought he was going to really intimidate her. And then when she saw the ship, it kind of shift. Then she realized, oh, I have to go do this. So she got up and went to him. And when she went over to him, the first thing after he said what he said, he said, oh, I guess I just gave you the tea, right? Like so you're right. I don't think he was even thinking in that manner. He's just like, girl, what are you over here doing? Oh God, now you're going to go over there and start something great.
Yeah.
And which is what she did. And she came and sat down and, and maybe she wouldn't have even said anything, but Giselle had to know what
being the star that she is, honey. Giselle's like, have a show, y'all. Come on, girl. Tell us what he said.
Tell us about the big conversation, is what she said. She said, well, Peter feels slighted that Wendy's at his restaurant and never hit him up. And I'm just like, well, Mia, then when he said that, you should have said, oh, well, she wouldn't have known because I didn't even tell them. It's me hosting the trip, and I just surprised them here. So she didn't know, because she didn't know until you guys were on the way. Which is also why she didn't text him. Like, if she's not thinking we're going to this steakhouse, what am I just gonna be like? Hey, Peter, I'm in Miami. Just wanted to let you know. I think I just wanted to heads up.
At home, girl. No, she is not doing that, Mia. We don't do that. We don't know what you do, but we don't do that.
And Mia coming. My thing is this: Mia coming for her candles. Like, I'm like, girl, I went on your website and you sell some oily looking lipstick. Now, I haven't tried it. Obviously, I don't wear lipstick. So if anyone has tried it, let me know. Is it good? I want to know because it looks really oily.
I mean, hey, she had juicy, plump, oily lips for the whole episode. So maybe that's what's working for her, girl.
And an oily forehead. Jacqueline said that the girls asked Jacqueline about Mia, and she says she's bossy, and that Jacqueline's basically the only friend that puts up with it, which later on in the next episode, she says, I probably wouldn't even be friends with her if I met her later in life, which is also telling. So Mia and Wendy are going back and forth with each other. And low key, I don't think Wendy said anything crazy that deserved any sort of water to the face. I feel like what Wendy said was, if that's what you and your man do, then that's fine. This is exactly, it's not what I feel she said. She said, if that's what you and your man do, that's fine. She didn't say that if you and your man fuck other people. She didn't say that until after the drink. What she said is, if you and your man are fine with you contacting another man while you're in town, then that's what you do. Me and my man don't do that. And Mia got so mad at that statement. Because there was nothing. Literally, it was only 3 big comments right before that, and she got so triggered too quickly, and she snapped that water, and you, Mia, fucked up because you let Wendy know that, keep going. Whatever direction you were going is correct. And then that's when Wendy added to that and said, if y'all are fucking other people, then just say that. Because you just gave her that. You literally just gave Wendy that. And at that point, why wouldn't Wendy say that to you? Sorry, you just threw a drink in her face, and then proceeded to throw, I don't know what the other thing was that she threw at her, but she
with her purse.
Oh yeah, and violently threw that, like, because that's what Ashley got nervous about.
Yes, but shout out to Karen for getting out of her seat with the quickness at 59 years old or however old she is. She was like, she got up quick. You're not going to get no water on me or anything else.
And shout out to the editors for the Matrix editing, because loved that. Mia's talking about, don't come from my husband. Girl, you talk about everybody. You literally, just at the beginning at this table, just were talking about Candace's husband.
But also, hasn't Mia been fairly, I can't specifically quote her, but hasn't she been fairly open about, the looseness of their relationship? Basically, she was the hoe before they got married, the side chick or whatever. like she's, you know, been on the pole and in the life and doing things and met in the club. Like, so I feel like it wasn't even, it's crazy to me, like, that she was so triggered by the concept
Because
that
she can't take it, but she can throw it.
it's just wild to me. Because I'm like, that's your life. I mean, on a certain level, that's what it seems like, and that's kind of how you've communicated your life. So I don't. Unless you're in the position like Ashley, like, yeah, you did that to get the man, but you've been trying to keep him from doing that now because you want to be the proper wife, and he wants to still be like playing in the streets and watching you mess with other girls and whatever, and you're not trying to do that no more. Then I could understand the triggering. But anyway, I just, you know, it just didn't warrant what happened at all.
At all. Now, Ronnie is over here talking about Giselle 5 stars. Well, I mean, okay, but again, now, right in this situation, I thought Giselle looked crazy. I mean, here's Giselle all of a sudden out of nowhere. Like, this has nothing to do with anybody other than these two women fighting, because any of those women were in the proximity, if they wanted to stop these women from fighting, could have gotten up and not let, like, I hate to say it, like, the elder of the table, like, deal with this. But all of a sudden, Giselle starts screaming at, you're humping, Karen, you're humping. Like, what? Calm down. Like, what are you going through?
I don't love her.
Oh, go back. She's like, because I watched it twice. I watched it when it first came out, and then I watched it again right before this. And like, because I had to rewind it because I was just like, whoa, like, what? Why did you get that aggressive? Like, you're humping, Karen. You're humping. Like, it was like super like, what? Like, what? You're really in character. Or maybe it was the liquor. I don't know. But
that's the thing I will say. I believe Giselle was fairly inebriated for much of the
trip.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was too much.
Agreed. For sure.
Robin says, Robin keeps saying Wendy is being an instigator, and I'm just like, girl, you are literally sitting here with your phone out. And not only that, but your phone is only on Wendy.
Yeah, which clearly shows what your thoughts are. And don't get it twisted, Wendy was instigating further because she knew she had set Mia off and she was going to keep poking.
Yeah.
And would I have liked her to stop because she's, you know, the professor and supposed to be the, you know, whatever? Of course. But at that point, it was like, no, bitch, you came for me.
She ain't thinking.
I ain't thinking clear. I'm going to keep coming for you. Like, I get it. I understand.
But, okay. And I know, like, when you're drunk and stuff, but, like, Wendy, like, girl, like, you know you're on a show, you're too smart, and you know you're on a show, and you said two things, and I know that one of those isn't true. You are not the only black teacher at whatever university, because the other black teachers came out to be like, and then maybe you're the youngest black teacher because you did add youngest in there all afterwards after you said the first one. But like, why are you saying that? Like, you're an educated woman. You know this woman just is acting like a child. So why are you bringing up your job? Like, you know that this could affect your job.
Because I think as intelligent as Wendy is, and I will, you know, never like speak that as if she is not. I don't think she's as emotionally mature as she might be a little more emotionally mature than Mia, but she still got Mia to let her get set off to the point where security's having to drag her away. So I don't think she is as removed and above all of that energy as maybe we would like her to be or think she should be.
Yeah, and also this is a freak show. This is a crazy thing. Like, none of these situations are real because you would never go to dinner with people that you don't like. I barely go to dinner with people that I do like. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as I would like to.
But saying that, it's interesting, right? Because technically you do, because you go to like holiday parties for work all the time where you have to deal with coworkers that you don't necessarily get along with or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't
And
have like consistent I don't have to like that's once a year. It's not like consistent like story arcs of like, you know. I
that's
mean
fair, but
like when I was
selected this as
younger,
a job.
I feel like as
But
you get older it's supposed to you're supposed to be able to like comb your life a little easier, you know, like it shouldn't be going in this direction. It should actually be going easier in
But
this
also,
direction.
that's probably why we wouldn't make good reality stars, because Mia would
I
like
wouldn't.
lose it, and I would be sitting there like, "Girl, you look real crazy right now." Mia couldn't get me to react because there's
No, but
not.
that reaction is actually hilarious because I've always said that I would be horrible on reality TV, but in that instant, now that you look at it like that, I think we would actually be. It would. I think that would be hilarious. I would love to see that type of person on reality TV, like, like just like let me get out, let me out.
Is this what we do? Like, because it's just so bizarre and like crazy. But yeah, in the
And
end,
speaking of emotional maturity, then Robin stands up and starts screaming, "Wendy's the winner! Wendy's the winner!" And it's just like, girl, what is your hate for Wendy? Like,
and it's sad
like
too.
it's like deep. Like it's like I'm like, are you okay? Like,
I
are
want
you and
to
Giselle
know
okay?
what happened. I feel like Giselle's is focused in a different way.
I'm sorry,
Robin,
I brought Giselle in only because of the way Giselle said to Karen, and that was to Karen. And I don't think Giselle feels as strongly towards Wendy as Robin does. I think
yeah,
Giselle acts like that towards Wendy in loyalty to Robin, which is also what Mia is noticing, and that's why Mia is mad at Karen. And Karen's like, "Baby, I'm not playing
I don't do
Lisa
this.
Frank with y'all. Like, y'all can have that." Like,
I don't do this. But yeah, because I was just like, first of all, Robin, yes, I won't shade the women's appearance, but I will shade your dress. That dress was ugly. And you are up yelling, which had a point. Because if I were Wendy's friend, I would have been like, girl, you won, stop. Like that kind of energy. So I get to a degree.
yeah, but no,
Maybe,
because every other that'd be fine if that was the only thing Robin was saying to her, but it wasn't. It was her antagonizing. Like, because Wendy was like, "Robin, what would you do if someone threw a drink on you? If Robin, if you threw a drink on me, I'm gonna get up on this table and beat you." And then Robin aggressively took that as, "You're not gonna do that." Like, why would you? She's explaining the situation to you. Why would you all of a sudden now get aggressive to her? You look like a fucking weirdo.
Does Robin have a crush on Wendy?
Maybe.
Is Robin feeling, did they have a moment at some point? And she thought maybe that we're closer than we actually are, and it went awry, because it feels very much like a lover's breakup with the vitriol that they, or specifically Robin, has towards her.
Maybe,
And
because also maybe that's too with Candace too. Maybe she likes her little.
like, did I attempt something and they like were like, oh hell no, I'm not down? Like, what happened? Because that's what it's feeling like. And I know Robin has
I like that story. I like that. Let's keep Robin as a secret lesbian. I like that.
Secret lesbian, because the anger just doesn't. It's so misplaced, and I'm just like, what is happening? Why are you so mad? So yeah, and why do you hate her so much? Like, what has she hasn't done anything to hate her that much.
I don't know. But the whole thing was a mess. The girls, Mia goes in one car, Wendy goes to another one, and Giselle comes back to the table after talking to Mia. And in front of Wendy, I thought this was also fucked up. Giselle says to Ashley, Ashley goes, how's Mia? She says, she's not okay. And rightfully so. Rightfully so what? She just threw a drink. She did all this to herself. She literally
fighting herself,
had like herself. A panic attack, like a baby, like a child attack, like
tantrum. Yes,
what? A tantrum. Thank you. Like what? Rightfully so. And then the nerve for you to say that in front of Wendy, and if Wendy reacts to that, then oh, Wendy's the bitch. But like y'all are all getting on my fucking nerves because y'all are all trying it. You're all sitting here trying to put certain standards on me that you're not putting on her. when we all see the same thing. And the other thing that really fucking was getting on my nerve is the thing about what's her name and Candace, Monique and
Monique,
Candace.
the situations were not the same in my opinion.
No.
And it's just like, y'all need to leave that alone, because everybody in that room has a problem with their character if we compare those two incidences and try to act like they're the same.
1,000,000%. And again,
we're just not, yeah.
But again, y'all's favorite, Giselle, was the instigator of it. She brought it up. You had to say the comment to Ashley. Oh, well, good thing you went to the bathroom. Like, what? And then Charisse was over there talking about, I mean, it's kind of contradictory. It's kind of like hypocritical of you. Like, it's kind of like, well, then why didn't y'all get up and stop this, since all that
They're
energy?
all contradictory. That's why I'm just like, this is all a ploy. None of this is real. Like, even though I think Giselle was mostly drunk, like, and I'm pretty sure Charisse is consistently drunk, because I know she want to open a champagne.
1,000,000%. I think she's drunk.
Like, girl, are you always drinking champagne? Because she is always sounding and looking like she's a little bit lit. But like, there's no way they don't realize that this is so contradictory on all of their parts. Like, not Ashley or just Ashley, like obviously on Giselle, obviously on Charisse, obviously on Robin. Like, it logically, like, they're not insane people. So I feel like it's purposeful because it causes more mess to do it, and Giselle specifically is fully aware of that, so she plays into it.
Yep. So then we see the next day, Wendy had gone home, to a hotel or whatever. Candace came in the middle of the night, and Robin couldn't wait to share the tea, like the little gossip queen she was. Couldn't wait to sit down with Candace and just let her know the 411.
Let her know what's really happening on the video with your violent friends.
And then the next day, the girls go to the pool, and then we see Ashley, Karen, and Candace. They have their own moment. They don't like that. It makes them feel uncomfortable that Wendy's not there. Candace has a moment where she cries. And Rob
always but I loved her faux locks. She looked cute.
She did look really cute. I liked the whole look. And whatever. Mia says that she announced that they're going to do a hotel beach party. Karen asked if Wendy could be there. Mia was not cool with that. She was like, look, I don't appreciate it. I feel like you're picking sides. And it's like, how old are we? But honestly, not to jump to the very end, but the very end was so telling when Mia was in bed and Jacqueline had to start the conversation for Mia to Karen. Mia doesn't really feel, like comfortable with the situation that's going. Like, well, then Mia can speak to me, and why are you sitting here, girl? Like, and then when Karen walks out, the first thing Jacqueline says is like, okay, so you guys, it's official. Like, you're not friends now. Like, are you 12? What?
It was so stupid, and I just was like, these are not adult women at all. That's when I'm literally like, I shouldn't be watching this anymore, but I'm still here. I can't leave.
Well, and, again, with the childish behavior. So Ashley, Candace, Karen, they decide they're going to go visit Wendy. They want to make sure she's okay. And here's my thing, honestly. If I was in the situation, I would go to the person that is being excluded personally.
100%. So would I. Like, even if I thought Mia was in the right, if Wendy
like if I was Charisse,
yes, I would go to her.
I mean, I know Charisse don't like Wendy, but meaning like if I was like the neutral person, like I'm not in the fight or whatever, I'm going to the person because this is a group thing. Like, you could have just let her come here, girl. We're going to argue. And if it ain't going to be this time, it's going to be the next party, whatever party. So just let her come. It's all good. Whatever.
And it's already very clear that there's like a group that is fully supportive of Mia. Mia has support. So like, why would you be causing a problem for a couple of people to support Wendy And that keeps you guys separate because you claimed you can't handle her and deal with her and don't want to. So you keep it separate, but nobody is like left alone in a town that they don't live in. Like, it's just, these ain't grown folks.
Exactly. And then Mia, as they get ready to go leave for lunch or the day party, Mia goes to the other car where Karen, Ashley, and Candace was and says, hey, you guys are going to have to find a new place. You guys can't stay here. Karen can because she told me, but you can't. Basically saying that they're fake ass bitches and they just got in the car with Karen, and it's like, what? And honestly, if I was Ashley or Candace, I wouldn't have gone back. I would have, in that exact moment, I would have went upstairs, got my bags, and booked a room where Wendy is.
100%. I would have went and hung out with Wendy and said this to Mia and her trip, because that was so, oh, you can't sit with us. Like, girl, again, Mean Girls High School, what are you doing?
Right.
We're too old for this.
Yep. All right, then we see finally a full day later, Giselle says to Mia, hey, you know, this was all fucked up, and I also don't think it's right that you're telling Ashley she can't stay here. So Mia was like, well, I'm not going to text her, and Charisse was her assistant, and she sent the text. And again, Ashley, why are you trying to stay there? Like, you have money. Michael's not going to, like, make you, sleep on the street, so you good, girl. Yeah. Mia says that she tells Karen that, I don't want to host the white party for you. I just don't feel like.
So dumb.
I just don't feel like. And Karen was like, girl, it's okay. Like, I'll just do a cake. Like, it's not that serious. I don't need you to host it. Honestly, I'd probably prefer for you not to. Honestly, I would prefer for you not to. Just let me know where it is. I'll pay for it. Because I don't need Salt Lake City over here coming, talking about
$10,000 for your birthday.
So, whatever. Then we get to where is it? The beach party. Oh no. Then we saw Wendy, Candace, and they went to meet up with Trina. And Trina was cute. And what did you think of the song?
I feel like I need to like actually listen to it.
Me too, because the first time I listened to it, I was like, I felt embarrassed for her. But then the second time I listened to it, actually I was like, oh, it's kind of different. Like, maybe I do need to listen to the whole thing to feel the vibe of it. Because they also they chopped it up because we didn't even get to hear Trina's full verse.
Yes.
So
and I fully support the Diamond Princess. Like, and I feel like she had to bring something to it, right? So I think I just need to listen to it.
Yeah, and it was like a little.
It's a little bop,
Yeah, it was giving like auto-tune Cherish.
Yes.
That's what it was giving me. Karen, Mia, and Jacqueline. Oh, then we get to that part at the end where I told you and Jacqueline was speaking for Karen.
Auto-tune Cherish.
Yes. So whatever. Next week we get the white dinner, something with Lambos, and Karen feels moist from the Lambos, which is disgusting. Ashley invites Wendy to dinner. Robin plays audio of Candace talking shit, and then Ashley brings up Karen sleeping with another man. And I'm just like, not on her birthday, y'all. Like, y'all are just like, dang, y'all messy. Like, on her birthday.
Horrible people. It's like, well, we gonna talk
Karen
about
hasn't,
this.
that's evil. Karen ain't done nothing all season. Like, fine if, like, at the picnic you wanted to throw something. You had all this time to throw something. You could have been at Robin's 99, the dollar store Olympics. Y'all could have said something there. But you wait for her birthday? That's fucked up. That was low for this.
It's a low blow.
And low key, I think it was low for Ashley. I could see, again, clearly we can see me and Robin doing everything, but
yeah. I wonder if Mia has selected to become
the villain.
no, Robin, just as an attempt to move out of Giselle's shadowness. She's purposely being like a dick. Cause I always got the Robin kind of don't give a fuck vibe. And even though for the most part she was boring, I appreciated that she kind of was just like herself. Her hair was
No,
never
but
great.
honestly, Courtney, I feel like I was thinking about this today because I was like, I used to like Robin.
Yeah, I enjoyed her. Like I didn't enjoy that relationship for her, and I never thought it was a good idea to get back in a marriage because it
And I
didn't seem
feel
like
like it was
but
like the end of not last season, but the season before, where I started shifting like my like, which would make sense because what that was the one where she took Juan back, right? I
last
think was that last season.
I mean, I guess they've always been like, oh,
No, it was the end of the season before that. The something about that season started making me kind of because I didn't really care for her last season, and then this season I'm like beyond done with her. And what I'm honestly kind of wondering is like, is it the same thing that's happening with Heather over on Salt Lake? Like, are you feeling yourself? Like, is Robin feeling herself? Because like, think about it right now, she's making money, she has her businesses, so she's feeling it. She wasn't feeling herself for years. She was always, when we liked her, it was when she was not in a happy relationship and she was trying to hide things from the camera. And now it's like, I'm wondering if she's kind of imitating Giselle. Like Giselle's like, girl, I just be like throwing everyone else's shit out there, that way it's not on me. And Robin's like, oh, good idea. Like, yeah, I'm going to dress up like fucking, I'm going to Walmart and I'm just going to start being shady to everyone. Like, what?
I hate you.
She does. She just reminds me of that website, Walmart people. Like, I just can't.
It's
And I
whatever.
don't, it's like, I don't even want to be mean or mean to be mean, but it's just like, you're so mean. You are, like, why? Like, it's just weird. Like,
Yeah,
and I think I feel hurt because I didn't think she would turn like that. Like Giselle's always had it in her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which is why we like her. Which is why I can appreciate Giselle because she's always had it in her.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely cranked up, but it's consistent. Robin,
and I
what?
thought Robin got the mean girl rep unfairly because she always just seemed like she was just like, I mean,
%.
because I felt like she was very Candy to me. Like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I do. Like, I'll show up the way I show up and you're not going to phase me one way or the other kind of energy. And now it just feels like, girl, you are trying on purpose to be like the queen mean bitch? Like, cause it seems unnecessary. And the hatred for Wendy is just so strong.
Well, that's why I'm like, are you guys getting something extra out of this by doing this? Because it's like, you are really like,
I don't know.
You are feeling it, girl.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Ooh.
But again, in general, overall, there is nobody on this cast that I like love and like go to bat for. Even like Karen is being like low key not tripping too much this season. I don't love Karen. She's not causing problems. But everybody else is on some trash shit this season.
Yeah. It really is. Like, it has me looking at them like specimens.
Who are you? Why? What is going on? And that's why it also feels like they're doing it on purpose to make show happen. And I don't like that.
Yeah, and it's funny. Ronnie said, I want to say this before we head out because I agree. I was rewatching season 3 of Roni the other day, and the Jill and Bethany stuff felt so layered. Even the music beds felt more natural. This new amped up version of Housewife feels like there's no actual stakes. Agreed. I think it just like, feels like these people would never actually go hang out with these people if there wasn't a carrot in front of them.
The relationships aren't real, and so the conflict is contrived. And it's not, because Jill and Bethany, oh my God, when the Jill and Bethany breakup happened, like, it was emotional. It felt like real girls girls and their best friend breakups, those are hard situations. Like,
and like deep down in our heart to this day, we low key, there is a little piece like you just want to see a picture of them together at dinner or something like that.
You want it to be okay again. And even when Jill's husband passed away, you were like, would that bring them together again? And it just didn't. And It's legit. So yeah, I totally agree, Ronnie. Good comment. Like, fuck these women. They ain't doing shit on these housewives no more. They just making up shit as they go along.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like we need a, I don't know, we need a break, or I think that's where the ultimate trip, it's like maybe we just need to take some time off from the seasons of Housewives and just do a bunch of different, maybe one whole year, just take a whole year off of Housewives and just do a bunch of girls trips, maybe do 4 girls trips or however many, for the seasons. And then we come back in a fresh new year with new casts or perfected cast, or we've given everyone time to kind of live and not feel like they have to be these monsters, because genuinely I feel like we're just creating monsters. Like it's like, and when I say monsters, it's like people who will do anything for attention. This is something that I wanted to say during Salt Lake, but how we were saying like Mia reminds us of those other girls on Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know Mia in any way, shape, or form. And, me saying these things, I don't believe that her actually, but the perception that she is given on television, I wouldn't be shocked if we watch her go through a divorce on this show. I would not be shocked. And that not low key in reality be a push off from her just wanting to be on TV. That's crazy. That's crazy that people are willing to really and again, maybe this won't happen, anything like that. But she gives me those kind of vibes, like willing to do whatever to be on camera. And I don't know. I just feel like, because what's next? After this, what gets crazier than what you're doing?
I don't know.
Honestly, I didn't think, what's her name from Real Housewives of Orange County what's that girl, the one with the young girl? She was great. Hopefully she's not on next season because something was wrong with her. The stacked vagina stacks.
Oh yeah, Noelle,
yeah.
Noella, yeah. She's not on this season.
No, but again, could also see Noella hanging out with Mia, totally. I don't know, but it was a stacked week of Housewives, a stacked week of conspiracy theories, but you know what I mean? We appreciate y'all joining us and staying in the chat. Love that. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Balenciaga did this on purpose? Do you think this is a whole setup? What are your thoughts on Housewives? Are you into Salt Lake right now or Potomac? Which one's winning in your field? Let us know. Courtney, where can everyone follow you?
I'm all over the social media land at Stuart Starlet.
Boom. And you can hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J and follow us at Next Mood Swing. Until next week, same time, same place. Peace.